So my name is Paul-Adrien Hyppolite. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Spiko. We provide seamless access to the risk-free rate in any type of currency. We have a very regulated setup to tokenize money market funds. We use the UCITS framework, which is the EU equivalent of US mutual funds. So we distribute tokenized money market funds. A significant part of our user base is actually non-crypto. So we are bringing more and more companies, individuals on-chain through the tokenization of these instruments. What we are eventually solving is access to these products, which in Europe is still a pain point. And tokenization helps on that perspective because it improves the UX that we are able to serve. It also solves problems around the transparency of these instruments and the transferability as well. I think that TradFi is coming on chain through the tokenization of securities. And this movement will make securities useful in DeFi. You'd be able typically to put securities in a lending borrowing market to borrow against these securities. That's typically what a lending borrowing market in DeFi does. And I do believe that eventually these DeFi protocols serve the whole market for tokenized securities. In our case, we tokenize money market funds. We bring wrappers around T-bills on chain. There is a very important problem that needs to be solved, which is having the value, what we call the net asset value, the price of the securities on chain. And Chainlink typically solves that through the Oracle solution that they provide. The biggest misconception is that bringing assets on chain will immediately improve liquidity. I think that some types of assets are illiquid in nature. So the fact that it gets tokenized, fractionalized, and I've heard that narrative quite a lot, which I think is a misconception around tokenization and RWA. The Web3 blockchain world and TradFi converge eventually. That will probably be the big trend of the coming decade, with the tokenization of securities, with the use of Oracle infrastructure like Chainlink to bring the price of the securities on chain, and the integration that we discussed between DeFi and TradFi with traditional financial services using DeFi protocols, smart contracts to develop financial services in a new way, more efficient, automated. It's a game changer because it brings a lot of transparency to the assets. You essentially give anyone read access to the shareholder register of a money market funds, for instance. So you can see in real-time activity on chain. So tokenizing assets improves access. It improves transferability of assets, be it money, be it securities, equities, etc. So I think that's the key unlock of tokenization for securities. So Chainlink is providing a key piece of technology for tokenized securities to have utility in DeFi. If you take one example, like a lending borrowing market, you need a credible source of truth for the price of the securities you bring as collateral, for instance, to borrow. And Chainlink through this Oracle infrastructure typically solve this issue. It's Oracle infrastructure that has been live for a long time. They have a huge market share in this space and a credible and secure infrastructure. So that's the main point. To me, Chainlink is a key infrastructure provider for the whole Web3 space by being a reliable source for prices of securities on chain, first of all. Also, I think by improving the transferability of these assets between different environments using messaging systems like CCIP.